Inbound season is upon us, everybody, so get ready because Inbound 2025 will bring together, once again, the brightest minds in marketing, sales, and AI to explore what's now and what's next. The event is taking place September 3rd to 5th at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, and this 3-day experience features inspiring keynotes, tactical breakout sessions, exclusive product reveals, and immersive workshops. You can network with industry leaders and gain actionable insights to implement immediately for your company. The speakers we got on the docket are great this year. We got Amy Poehler, Marquez Brownlee, Sean Evans, Glennon Doyle, and many others. You're not going to want to miss it. You can go to inbound.com/register to secure your spot at Inbound 2025. Good morning, everybody. Today's Friday, June 20th. I'm John Weigell with Juliet, Bennett, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Smart glasses were the butt of a Google Glass joke for many years, but now it seems big tech has turned their interest around back onto shades. Google, Meta, and Snap are all at it to create the next line in smart eyewear. So which one will come out on top? What's their status? And are there any other players in the field that we haven't really talked about? We'll get into that in a bit, but first, let's give you the news in business and tech. Starting us off today, in a big move, Intel is laying off 20% of its factory workforce this week. The company's reason for that? A very vague initiative of, quote, removing organizational complexity. You know what that sounds like? Trouble for middle management. Next, Liquid Death's latest stunt is leaving the water game entirely for a second. A new product for the brand is whiskey, made in partnership with Whistle Pig Whiskey. It might just be a limited release, but for a short while, you can drink something that actually looks like it would be called Liquid Death. And finally, Meta might just be in the business of poaching talent. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is saying that Meta is offering his employees to jump ship, with some being offered bonuses of $100 million. So Altman says that these advances have failed so far, but I mean, $100 million is $100 million. I'd do it in a heartbeat. Okay, look, side hustles fail when they consume all of your time. I mean, every single bit of it. The pros, though, work smarter with AI doing all the heavy lifting. To help you out, we just dropped the Side Hustle Accelerator database. You can search your exact problem for your side hustle, grab the perfect prompt, and get results. If you're struggling with marketing, content, and customer service, it's all solved in just seconds. This isn't just another tool, guys. It's your unfair advantage in a spreadsheet. So stop asking AI the wrong questions and start scaling with what actually works. You can get it for free in the link in our show notes. And you can stop right now, actually. Why don't you take a look down at those show notes and tap the link. You don't want to sleep on this. Okay, on to our main story. We're talking smart glasses today. Obviously, Google Glass was the initial beginning of this, but now we're kind of in a whole new world type of thing about it. So, Juliet, can you talk to me about what the status is of smart glasses across big tech?
Everybody's working on them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when everyone was working on the metaverse and now everyone's working on AI. When it comes to hardware, everyone seemingly has a form of smart glasses in the mix. I think the difference now is that they're powered by AI.
Yeah, that seems to be the big tipping point here, because when Google Glass came out, it kind of was lacking a lot of features. They didn't really know what to do with it, it seemed like. And now, since AI is a thing and we've seen AI hardware come out, now seems like a good time to integrate that into eyewear. And I guess that is why it's getting so big now, right? Is because AI can actually do a lot of these things that 10 years ago when Google Glass came out, it was a bit of a stretch to get done.
Yeah, I think there's a couple factors at play here. One, they can sort of seamlessly integrate with your phone the same way that your smartwatch or your Fitbit does, which is great. They can also be powered by AI. So instead of some weird sort of clunky mechanism that doesn't work, you can be like, hey, how do I get over here? And it ideally would be able to offer you turn-by-turn directions, answer questions for you. You'll be able to talk to it just like you talk to any of your other assistants, Siri, Alexa, et cetera. The third, and I think not unimportant thing, is that they look like normal glasses. You don't look like a weird cyberpunk person walking around.
Sure.
which is cool if you're doing a cyberpunk thing. But for the average person, it looked, I think, a little out of place and people didn't want to wear them and they felt silly. These newer models look more like regular glasses.
Yeah, which is also the exact opposite method of Apple Vision Pro, which we saw last year, which was popular for all about 17 minutes. And you don't really see anybody wearing Apple Vision Pros outdoors because the way they look. And they're a bit heavy. So having actual stylish looking glasses is kind of giving these brands a bit of an edge. So what are some of the most popular collaborations we're seeing with tech companies and these sunglass brands?
So I think the one that is probably the most accessible right now is the partnership between Ray-Ban and Meta. You can buy those right now if you want, and they look like Ray-Bans. So you're going to look pretty normal wearing them. They're going to have all this functionality. I don't know anyone who has bought them, and I haven't really heard much about them. I don't think that they're super widely adopted.
Yeah. They're not very popular, I don't think. However, I did meet one person actually last week that had a pair of them, and it was at a wedding. And they said before the ceremony that they wanted it to be a kind of a non-digital ceremony. So just like kind of be in the moment, no phones and whatnot. And after the ceremony, this guy walked up to me and he was like, I recorded that whole thing.
Oh, wow.
With his glasses. So
yes.
I guess that's a good place for them if you're told that there's no technology allowed.
Yeah, to me, it seems a lot of this sounds like James Bond type stuff. Like you're trying to surreptitiously take photos and videos.
You're spying.
Right.
Yeah.
Google's working on a prototype, Android XR, which, would allow you to have all of the powers of Google in your lenses. You'd be able to take photos, ask questions about your environment, get responses from Google's Gemini AI. They are partnering with Warby Parker and Gentle Monster on that. So again, they would look like regular glasses. The one that I think is the most interesting, and that is obviously a bias because I have tried them, is what Snap is doing.
Yeah.
So Snap came out with spectacles in 2017 and nobody liked them and they didn't sell any and it was a huge flop. And that was probably because they were, for one thing, you could record a quick video that apparently wasn't very good quality and you could upload that video to Snapchat. And I think one thing that we've learned and that we've talked about a lot is that when you have a product that does one thing, unless it's something like an espresso machine or something that has a lot of craft to it, people don't want it.
Yeah.
People didn't want the Twitter peak, which allowed you to do one thing, access and post to Twitter.
Exactly.
So nobody wanted these glasses. But now spectacles, they're currently open to developers, this latest iteration, but I was able to try some at the Augmented World Expo recently in Long Beach.
Ooh.
And I wouldn't say that I was like, oh my God, I got to go out and get a pair of these immediately, but they did have functionality that was kind of fun. There were a lot of augmented reality games and experiences. It reminded me a little bit of Magic Leap, which was an AR device that was out a while ago. Except with Magic Leap, you had to carry around a bag. It was kind of like early VR headsets had to be wired in.
Right, exactly.
These newer models, you don't need that. I was able to kind of wander around while wearing these glasses.
Pretty cool.
I did not find all of the experiences to be seamless. There was a lot of like, reach out and touch this thing. And I felt like I was not quite able to touch it. But there were some things that I thought were kind of cool. There was a cooking assistant that I think I would actually maybe use where it's like you could scan items on a counter. They had like some sauces and pastas and you'd be like, what am I looking at? And it'd be like, you're looking at pasta. It's like, okay, what can I make with it? It's like, well, pasta, duh. It was very simple. But then it would tell you how you were supposed to make the pasta. And I could see for a more complicated recipe or something that's messy where you're handling a lot of raw meat or your hands are covered in flour and they're sticky, that having that right there where you don't have to touch anything or flip any pages would actually be kind of useful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that there is something to having that ability available where you have both your hands free to do something and not just consistently, if you're following a recipe, especially just kind of crouching down and looking at an iPad or an iPhone every 10 minutes. Yeah, I definitely see like the practical application of this. Did it overheat when it was on you at any time?
No.
Pretty good.
I can't remember which device. I tried a lot of devices. One of them was kind of warm at the end, but nothing compared to like the early VR headsets.
Yeah.
I remember having a Google Daydream and your phone overheated within like 10 minutes.
Oh my God. Horrible.
The one thing that I think is really actually cool about these devices, and maybe this only pertains to me and people like me, but I tried a device called X-Reel and it did a couple of things. One, connected to my phone and I was able to watch a movie as though it were projected in front of me and I could walk around, I could walk through the screen, I could turn around. It was sort of fixed in space, which is kind of cool. I think that would be fun if you were a passenger in a car or you were on a train or plane, or I don't know, somewhere where you're like, I'm bored, I'm going to watch a movie and just out in the real world. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Could be kind of fun if you were laying in bed. It was like you have your own projector. But what I really liked was a function where you could plug it into your computer and you could see as though you had dual monitors in front of you.
Ooh.
I am completely unable to sit at a desk. My posture is horrible because I have no close-up vision. And I think this might be why some stuff doesn't work for me in VR and augmented reality. I don't have real lenses. I had them taken out of my eyes and replaced with plastic.
Whoa.
This is not common for someone my age, but it is common for people with cataracts and people with really bad astigmatism, which is why I had this surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And I think anyone who sort of suffers from any sort of visual thing where it's like, I need reading glasses and now I don't, and I got to sit exactly here, like to have something in front of you that can kind of move in space and really dial in, I was like, oh, I could sit up straight and have good posture and still use my computer with these things. Am I going to go out and buy one? No, because they're kind of, I'm not ready to adopt something that costs several $100s yet.
Sure.
But I can see a real accessibility benefit for this, where it's like, could these smart glasses zoom in on a menu that I can't read?
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Could they offer
Totally.
light because I need a lot of light? Amazing. And there's also some audio smart glasses that function as hearing aids where they're perceiving what is being said in the world around you and amplifying it or telling it or even giving you live captions in your lenses in real time. So I think that's what's going to be most exciting is these accessibility tools on top of the other fun things they provide, like games and being able to watch Transformers, which is the movie that was on when I was using it. Or, just a sort of like assistant, like, where am I? What is this? Tell me about this landmark. I think there's a lot of functionality here, especially if they're lightweight, they have a long battery life,
Yep.
They don't overheat, they're comfortable, and they don't make you look like you are in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. Unless that's the way you want to look and you're going to a special kind of convention. Then they can make you look that way. Yeah.
When we are cyberpunk and we can like replace parts of our body with cool robot stuff and do mecha fights, I'm totally all about the cyberpunk glasses, but not right now.
Oh, yeah. 100% about that. And you kind of hit the nail on the head. I feel like if it is accessible, if there are very practical uses for it, and it's also maybe not crazy expensive, I can see it really doing well in the next few years, especially if all these brands are coming out with their own version. There's definitely going to be competition in the market, but if they're priced well, I think is my big thing, they might do quite well.
Yeah, and a lot of these are only a couple $100. I think Ray-Bans are what, like $299? Ray-Ban Meta glasses?
That's not bad.
The X-Reals were like $600, which is like, I really want to have dual monitors and space in front of my face, but I don't want it $600 much.
You don't want it $600 bad.
Yeah.
But if it was $200, who knows? Who knows?
Oh, yeah, totally. I'd be like, I'm ordering those tomorrow. My doctor will be so happy.
You know, today. I'm on a dual monitor in your head right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of HubSpot Media. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go sign up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at thehustledaily. We'll catch you later. Okay, look. Side hustles fail when they consume all of your time. I mean, every single bit of it. The pros, though, work smarter with AI doing all the heavy lifting. To help you out, we just dropped the Side Hustle Accelerator database. You can search your exact problem for your side hustle, grab the perfect prompt, and get results. If you're struggling with marketing, content, and customer service, it's all solved in just seconds. This isn't just another tool, guys. It's your unfair advantage in a spreadsheet. So stop asking AI the wrong questions and start scaling with what actually works. You can get it for free in the link in our show notes. And you can stop right now, actually. Why don't you take a look down at those show notes and tap the link? You don't want to sleep on this.